can. It's fabulous.
It's a really pretty flannel quilt.
Oh my God.
You can see why these vines are divine. And then the leaves.
Quilt out loud, baby!
Quilt Out Loud is brought to you by That Patchwork Place, publisher of America's best-loved quilt books.
Arafil Italian threads, perfectly suited for every quilt project.
Northcott, cottons that feel like silk.
And by Reliable Corporation, press like the pros.
Guidelines for quilting. Prepare for perfect piecing.
Baby Lock, for the love of sewing.
And Gamble, your quilting partner. Welcome back to Quilt Out Loud. Doctor's orders kept Mark in New Jersey rather than traveling to Houston. But he did make it to Minneapolis for Spring Quilt Market, and we just happened to shoot something extra, so here it is.
I'm going to take you on a door knock today of a different kind. I'm taking you into the press room at the International Quilt Market here in Minneapolis. I'm going to put faces to the titles of your very favorite quilt magazines in the industry, and they don't know I'm coming. But first I want to introduce you to somebody, Bob Ruggiero. Hey, Bob.
Mark Lipinski, how are you?
Well, what do you know? Look who's here.
Amazing.
Amazing. Listen, this is Bob Ruggiero. He is, look at this, he has a title that you cannot believe. He's the Director of Publications and Public Information. You know what that means? It means he knows everybody and all the dirt on everything. He lets you know what you can do out there, what you can't do out there, and he coordinates all of the press. Now, Bob, I want to ask you very quickly, what is the reason? Why do you even have a press room?
Well, the press room is where the media elite of the quilting industry gather to interview subjects, to cover the show, and of course eat donuts.
Yeah, here's the other thing. I'll show you, but the food and the drink are free in this room if you have a credential, aren't they, Bob?
Absolutely.
And coffee in the morning. Come here. Let's go over here. I'm going to see who's over this. Okay, come here. Hey, you guys. Hi. I don't even know whether I know you guys. Have I ever met you?
Oh, no.
We've never met, have we?
No.
Okay, so you're Julie.
With Home Arts Magazine.
Home Arts. So this is today. Oh, today's creative.
Yes.
Now this is a publication that you subscribe to, but you join like a club, right?
Oh, right.
A club. So how long have you been with this?
About 5 years.
And you're the editor.
I'm the editor, right.
And are you with this also?
I'm a columnist.
You're a columnist, and are you a columnist?
Writer. Yep.
So you're free. You're a freelance writer, or you're freelance as well.
Also.
So of course that means you get paid nothing.
Oh, no way.
Listen, I've been a freelance writer. I know you don't get paid anything.
You play very well.
Okay, do you play very well? And here's what I wanted to ask you. Now, you've been with this for how long?
Well, 5 years, but in the industry for over 30.
For over 30 years. Well, how is that possible? Because you only look,
10.
Okay, there you go. Okay, but what is the hardest part about being an editor?
I think handling people's creative spirits, because I'm working with designers who have a lot of creative expression in their projects. I can't take everything. So, just handling, getting the right things, choosing the right things, not taking everything.
Right.
And getting it in the magazine.
Well, here's what's really interesting. All of you guys work together, but when I look around, I see people who do not work together who are also editors. So I'm going to go meet them. Thanks for, and have a donut for me, will you? Okay. Now these people I know. I know these people because I used to work with them when I did Quilters Home Magazine. These are the Creative Crafts Group. From Creative Crafts Groups, and you guys are from McCall's Magazine.
Yes, we are.
So this is McCall's Magazine. This is Laura.
This is Laura Roberts. And this is Sherri Driver.
Sherri Driver. And you guys are associate editors?
She's an associate editor. I'm an assistant editor.
Okay, associate. So what's the difference between an associate editor and an assistant editor?
We don't know. We associate with each other.
Okay, but you do McCall's, which is a pattern magazine.
Yes.
And this is Laurette Koserowski. Now Laurette and I've known her for years too. Now Laurette is the executive editor of the Quilter magazine for All American Crafts. Now this is what I want to ask, because now you guys are direct competitors in some way. Yeah, you know each other and you're friendly. I want to ask you about this. You know how weird it is, like when you're at a booth, like when you're going to show fabric, and you're there and you're talking to the rep, and then all of a sudden the next appointment is your competition who's standing right behind you. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? I mean, who gets the first choice? How do you negotiate that? Is there a way to do that?
Usually the marketing people keep track of who picks what.
They do?
Yeah.
So they won't screw you over?
No, and if I hear that Beth Hayes from McCall's has picked a line, I'll back off.
You will?
Yeah.
And probably vice versa.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, and you know, the other thing is this, that even though we're all kind of competitors in one way or another, the fact is you're always running into people at all these quilt markets, so ultimately you become friends.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know?
I can respect it.
Here's the other thing. We all read each other's magazines and we talk about them behind their back.
We all know that.
We all do that. That's what we do. What we like, what we don't like, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. Here's another table. Now, this is a different kind of magazine. If you read my blog, now I know this broad here. I mean, woman. She and I have been friends for a long time, but this is Susan Fuquay, and she is the editor and creator of the American Quilt Retailer.
Correct.
Now, this is a different kind of magazine because you at home, the consumer, wouldn't get this magazine necessarily. This is just for quilt shops.
Exactly.
So what are you doing here?
Well, I like to cover the floor. I need to find out new products and what's going to be new in the market, and then I do a market review in the next issue.
When she says cover the floor, I hope she's not meaning with any of my magazines. Now, here's what I'm gonna, but also we have some, like, listen, these are some of your favorite magazine people here too. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Jean Nolte.
And tell us what you do.
Fons and Porter's Love of Quilting.
She's the editor of
Easy
Fons and
Quilts.
Porter, which is a really popular magazine. Go ahead,
And
Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Keltner with American Patchwork and Quilting Magazine and also Quilts and More Magazine.
Another huge magazine. If you read my blog, you just read about Quilts and More on there.
And I'm Carolyn Beam. I'm the creative editor for Quiltmaker, another very popular magazine.
So these are all of the biggest magazines in the industry really sitting in this room right now. And you guys, I mean, it's amazing. But I want to ask you guys something. There is a healthy competition. How do you choose what goes in the magazines? Everybody wants to know that. How do you choose what goes in your magazines?
I think for us, we're always looking for diverse selection of quilts and looking for things that'll appeal to a broad audience. So we try not to find too much in any one single category. And I think it's great that there's a lot of healthy competition in the industry because there are more great quilts out there than any one magazine can publish.
No.
I was going to say, being a trade publication where my audience are the quilt shops, I'm always looking for products that have a reason to sell and that will help them, you know, in their own business. My purpose is to give them information to run their business better.
Okay, now let's be honest about this for a minute. Do you ever try to keep your ears really open to hear what other people are doing? When you're walking down the aisle, do you ever go like, I wonder what's going on out there?
That's the idea. I mean, we're journalists. We're supposed to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys do amazing work. Now, here's the thing. For you guys at home, because a lot of you design your own quilts and you might want to get it into a magazine, I think what I hear anyway is there's this, you have to be a certain level, you have to have a certain kind of cachet, you need a certain title, you need to be a fabric designer, but you guys are always looking for new stuff and new designers, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So what could the person who's sitting at home do to get into Quilts and More, or get into Love of Quilting, or get into Quiltmaker, or any of the magazines, whether it's McCall's or the Quilter? What do you do?
We have a design contest, so we'll have an open invitation for anybody to send us a design.
And is that true with all of you guys?
Yes. You know, I think if you look on any of the websites, you'll find a little section that says submission guidelines, and that would tell you what you need to do to submit a design. And we have a team who looks at them once a week, and then we'll get back to you and say, yes, no, could you change it? And that's how we find a lot of our projects.
Well, you know, and honestly, that's just how I started. I mean, when you look at these magazines at your Barnes & Noble or your Borders or your local quilt shop, you look at them and you think, my goodness, these are such high-end, like lofty ideals to even get into it. But the truth is, my first quilt was published in McCall's. It was just an accident. I said, do you like the quilt? She said, yes, can I publish it? And it all started from there. And any one of these editors here will be available to you. Now, because if you come to a place like Quilt Market, you can't come into the media room, but you certainly can stand outside and wait for them. And the other thing is, if you're on the floor and you see an editor, or because you know their pictures are on all their magazines, stop them and say hello. They don't bite. They're anxious for your information. They're anxious to engage you, find out what you like about the magazines and don't. And let me just ask one more question. I'm going to come over here for the last question. You guys get... I'm sure you get some positive feedback from your readers, and I'm sure you get some criticism, because I think that we all do. I want to ask you a question. How do you deal with those criticisms? What do you do with that?
We're just upfront with it. We are really one of them. So if they've got complaints, we usually understand what they're complaining about. And so we just identify with whatever the complaint is and address it.
It's not that hard, and try to resolve it for them.
All right, well then you heard it here first, folks.
Hi, I'm Jodie Davis, co-host of QuiltOutLoud.com and president of QNNTV.com. I want to tell you about a terrific website called QuiltersClubOfAmerica.com. It's the club designed by quilters for quilters. If you love all things quilting, then this is definitely the place you'll want to check out again and again. You can join the free community. Check out the Quilt Out Loud forum. Or, if you're a QNNTV.com member, you can upgrade to the club for a very low price. Just visit us at QuiltersClubOfAmerica.com or give us a call at 888-253-0203 to upgrade your QNNTV.com membership. Again, that's 888-253-0203. QuiltersClubOfAmerica.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Here, let me pull over a chair, because hiding over here is Angie Hodapp. Now, this Angie Hodapp is the editor-in-chief of Quilters newsletter, and guess what? Angie and Jodie and I have something else in common, right? What?
We do. We are all on the board of directors for the Alliance for American Quilts.
That's exactly right. So we are the in crowd and the Pepsi generation, right, Angie?
Well, I would say so.
That's what I would say. Now, listen, Angie, I want to talk to you about this because you just took over Quilters newsletter a couple of issues ago. So you really had to start from the ground up to kind of refashion your magazine. Now, you know, I have some new magazines coming out, which I also have to start from the ground up, etc. Tell the people out there, you know, because people don't like change sometimes. Do they resist the change, and how do you ease people into reading a magazine that has been around for so long, but frankly needs a facelift?
Sure, that's a good question.
And by the way, you're doing a great job. It's now my new favorite magazine.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm not kidding.
You know,
besides mine.
Well, of course.
Go ahead.
Yours is mine.
Right, okay. Okay, so tell me, so how do you do that? Because that's a hard one.
It is a hard one, and I did have the benefit of having the results of the 2009 QN Readers Survey going into my editorship. So I did have a lot of feedback from readers about what they were missing, what they wanted to see, what they thought we were doing well, what they thought we needed to improve. So I've really tried to respond to that. They want more patterns, more techniques. We're going to kind of sneak those in, but we're never going to get rid of the quilt history, the articles about what's going on internationally in the quilt world. We want to get more into what's going on with charities, how quilters are using their art and their craft and their gift to really give back to different communities.
You know what I also love about Quilters newsletter, and I just got your most recent copy in the mail. What I love about it is that they're quilts that are not necessarily easy to make, but they're absolutely stunning. And you know, there's a huge portion of us who are seasoned quilters who actually want to make something that's a little more challenging.
Right.
And you've really stepped up and given us that.
Thank you.
And that's terrific. Now, here's the other thing I want to ask about, because you know the people that all the people in the room here, they're seasoned. I mean, they've been around for a long time. Some of these ladies are, they have relationships. Now, as like kind of the new kid on the block. Now, you've been in the industry for a long time, so people know who you are. But now that you're the new editor and you're responsible, how do you make those inroads when you go out to the market floor?
I just introduce myself, say hello. I don't think I'm afraid to go up and just ask how people are doing, what's new, what's happening for them. And I've had a lot of really good feedback from people here, from people who send me emails, who give me a call on the phone. But yeah, this is just the perfect venue to be able to make those new connections and to again, to find out what people want to see in the magazine and to give it to them.
And I have one more question for you. This is kind of like a personal note. Since we're like friends, you got to let me know. What do you see as being the trends out there? Are you noticing any trends? It always seems like, and all the editors, I think, will speak to this. You get here, you're looking for the next new thing. how do you judge that? Because I waffle. I usually go with my gut and what I like, but since I have a personality-driven magazine, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But you have a really kind of informative, educational kinds of magazines. So you really need to follow the trends in a different way. How do you do that?
That's another great question. Just walking around here, I can get a really good feel for what quilters are doing. I see a lot of really neat new surface design things going on, a lot of really new fabric designers coming in out of different industries, out of the art industry, the home dec industry, and they're coming in and they're getting involved in quilting. And I know that's been going on for a while, but it's really neat for me to go a little deeper with those people and just find out what makes them tick. And I'd love to introduce those people to QN readers, go a little deeper with some of those creatives.
One more thing, any color you see sticking out more than others? Yellow everywhere.
Yellow shoes. Yellow shoes.
Here, what's really interesting about yellow is the whole reason International Quilt Market was started is because Carrie Bressenhand could not find yellow.
Oh, that's funny. I did not know that.
That's the history of this whole Megillah. So thank you. I love you. You're adorable.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
I'll see you. Are you going to go to Vermont for the Alliance Board meeting?
I might. I have a lot of travel between now and fall market.
I do too, but that's due. We'll share a room.
Okay, let's do
Thanks.
that. Thank you.
Before we leave, the most important part of the press room is this. Come here. Because it's 10:30 and I haven't been in the press room yet, there's still donuts left. But I'm going to start eating right now, and I will see you all later. Thanks, all you editors. Bye, bye, bye. The Quilter, McCall's Creative Home Arts, Love of Quilting, American Quilt Retailer, the Quilt Maker, and who else is over there? Oh, American Patchwork and Quilting. All great magazines.
Bye. See you next time on Quilt Out Loud.